For all participants, I have a special gift of an ebook, and it is the essential tips and tricks that you need for living and managing your chronic conditions and living your life in abundance. I'm really excited to share that with you all because I really think that it's a very easy read and it's very easy and simple tips and tricks that you can all take with you to really help you get back on track. And if you'd like to work with me further, I have my contact information is available. And I am looking forward to working with you all in the future.
Magnificent. Magnificent. Wow. Um, just absolutely amazing. Let me bring Miss Horn back up here. Wow. Miss Horn, I want to thank you. Everybody give it up for Janine Horn, Zenwell Studios. Woo, woo, woo.
Thank
Because
you.
the way we ignite our life for life is definitely making sure our body is right and tight. And of course, for those of you that are here that are seeing this all around the world, we have some wonderful gifts from Zenwell Studio. So stay tuned till the end. We're going to come back because we have a question and answer segment. And at the end, all of our speakers are going to tell you more about what their gifts are and how you can leverage them to ignite your life for life. Absolutely awesome. Give it up for Miss Janine Home one more time. One more time. Woo, woo, woo.
You.
So Kim, uh, uh, let's um, let's talk about who's coming up next.
Well, you all are in for a tremendous treat because we have none other than Chuck Coffee Cup Chuck Doyle. And he is a public speaker, a motivational influencer, an entrepreneur, author, coach, podcast host, and an investor. He starts each day, not once a month, but each day every morning by bringing a message of inspiration to the world. I want everyone to welcome Mr. Chuck Coffee Cup Chuck Doyle. Take it away, Chuck.
Good morning, people. First, I'd like to thank all. I'm just take a moment first to thank you all for showing up. It takes a lot to further your growth. Sacrifices, they will always be necessary to achieve what everyone else isn't willing to do. And sometimes that sacrifice is simply just making a small investment in yourself. Secondly, I'd like to thank Dr. Lotus Rache and all of you panelists for sacrificing your time. I'm so serious with this message that I got some notes over here on the side of me to make sure I deliver this message to you guys today. And I want to make sure I get the right message out to you. So please be kind to yourself and take some notes just like me. I had a friend who used to always say, only goats take notes. So take the notes, your major investment, and in this investment that you made, you got to make sure you capturing what you're listening to. So, but change is a law of life. And those who look only to the past and the present are certainly going to miss the future. This powerful quote is by John F. Kennedy, and it encapsulates what I'm about to be talking about this morning. And I'm talking about this morning the power of change and the ability to transform your mindset to ignite your life for life. Let me start off by sharing just a deep personal story. When I was 15 years old, I found myself behind bars for the first time. And when I say bars, now, I mean, not Juby Hall, I'm talking about prison. It was a moment that I should have had a wake-up call, but instead of waking up and taking that lesson, I just spiraled down the path and I just made even more bad decisions. Over the years, I returned to prison 3 additional times, and each time I did behind these bars, it just reminded me of the lessons that I never really got to learn. I just wasn't catching the message on any of these visits, but it wasn't until years later, me going back and forth to prison, that I finally realized that I had to make a profound change in my life to actually ignite my life for life. And this realization led me to discovering 5 key challenges to my mindset. And today, I want to share these keys with you. The first key to changing your mindset is to embrace a growth mindset. This concept was populated by psychologist Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. While I was in prison, I saw many people, myself included, we were all stuck in this mindset that we couldn't believe that we could ever get out of the circumstances we're in. But how, if you were to change your mindset, how would you do it? These were a lot of the things that we all talked about in prison while I was in there. Well, to ignite your life for life, it starts by first changing the way you talk to yourself. You got to replace all of that negative talk that you talk about. You got to change it over to something more positive. And the way you think creates the words that you say, creates what you believe. So start changing the words like, I can't do this, to I can do it. Or if I can't do it, I can't do it yet. Or you can change it to, this is never going to happen, to it's bound to happen sooner or later. People, you got to celebrate the small victories and learning from your failures, learning from those failures. That's how you do it. You got to surround yourself around people who inspire you and support you. You got to remember this too, people. Every challenge is a chance for you to improve and develop new skills. The second key is to cultivate positive habits. In prison, I learned the power of routine, but it wasn't until I actually started focusing on positive habits when I started seeing my real change. See, positive habits, they can boost your confidence, they can reduce your stress, they can improve your overall well-being. Let me give you an example of a few positive habits that you can incorporate in your day. Every day, you can start off by creating a gratitude journal. You can engage in regular physical activities like exercise every day, walking. I have some friends right now doing a 30-day challenge walk, and that's how you do it. If you can set aside some time also to self-reflect, do that. I love meditating. I myself find when I'm by myself, sometimes I can hear myself. So you got to get into an environment where you can actually think before you start changing anything. If you do these things for at least 21 to 30 days, you'll start to form some pretty solid positive habits. And those positive habits will start to reinforce a healthier version of yourself. Now, the third key is to challenge your limiting beliefs. Got to challenge them, people. These are the negative thoughts and assumptions that you hold within yourself that prevent you from reaching the full potential that you have. I mean, you have so much potential inside of you, but unless you actually start living it, you're not going to live it out. When I was in prison, these beliefs were rampant in my head, and they kept many of us, like myself, from seeing any other way out. And when I finally got out of prison, guess what? Those limiting beliefs, they still lingered. They were still there. I remember a particular time when I was at work. I was working for the guy before I started my own business. I was working for this guy, and man, I had a good personality. I could speak really well. I was nice to people, and I knew how to do my job. And many of my boss's clients would tell me, hey, man, why don't you start your own business? You would do so great with that because you're good with people. So I started planning that, and I started figuring out a way. But those limiting beliefs, well, they stopped me from making a jump. You know, one day my boss pulled up on me on one of my job sites. He had heard about me starting my own business, or at least thinking about it. And somebody through the grapevine gave him a warning. Hey, man, you got a guy at your shop that's probably going to bail on you. So when he pulled up on me, I didn't want to really lie to him because, of course, you know, it'll come back to you. And I didn't want to actually tell him the full truth either, because I still needed my job until I was actually strong enough and able enough to make the jump. So I basically stuck to those limiting beliefs. And I basically told him, I said, look, man, I'm African-American who's been to prison, and it takes money to start a building, boss. You know, my credit ain't the best. I mean, you tell me. And that man looked out the front window of his car. He looked back out the passenger window at me and he told me, you know what? You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. Go on ahead and get back to work. I'm sorry I bothered you with this. And he drove off. And as I watched the taillights of his car disappear around the corner when he made his left turn, I stood there thinking, all of those limiting beliefs that I just told that man, these are the same limiting beliefs that I believe. And that's why I haven't made the jump. So check this out, people. If you don't believe you can do it, nobody else will. The fourth key is to focus on what you can control. In prison, I often felt overwhelmed by circumstances beyond my control, which led to feelings of me being helpless and a whole lot of anxiety. By focusing on what you can control, you empower yourself. You take action. And when you take action, you create positive change. So where would you start? Well, you start by making a list of the things in your life that you can control. Yeah, that's where you start. Start there. Things such as your attitude, your effort, your response to challenges. When you're faced with difficult situations, you have to shift the focus to these aspects and take proactive steps to improving your situation. Practice mindfulness and meditation, like I said earlier. This stuff helps you keep you centered in thoughts, and it helps you stay grounded in your present moment. Now, we've come to the fifth and final. But guess what? I got a scenario I want to spit first. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to use the bathroom. You get up to go use the bathroom, and when you return to bed before you lay down, you look at the display. You see it says 3. So you go back to sleep because guess what? You got 3 hours before it's 6 o'clock, and that's the time you got to get up. Well, about 10 minutes seems to go by, and your alarm's going off. So you look up and you hit that snooze button. And when you hit it under the impression that you got 10 more minutes to sleep. But guess what? The alarm goes off again. And when this time it goes off, instead of 10 minutes going by, you realize you've already hit the button 3 times. Now what do? You jump up out of that bed. That's what you do. You start running around like you ain't got no sense. And guess what happens then? You start getting your stuff ready and you get out the door, and now you're breaking every law in the book to get to work on time, because you know that if you don't get to work on time and if you end up late, there's going to be somebody there to hold you accountable. But if it's that easy for you to break laws for somebody else's accountability, how come you don't hold that same energy for yourself? Yeah, the fifth and final key is to hold yourself accountable, people. You got to hold yourself accountable. You got to start holding yourself accountable for your own continuous learning and growth. A stagnant mind can't learn. A stagnant mind can lead to complacency and lack of motivation. Embracing a long learning mindset keeps us curious, adaptable, and open for new opportunities. Opportunities you will never see if you haven't made yourself accountable, people. You got to continue your learning. So commit to regular personal, professional development, read books, attend workshops, and seek out mentorships who can guide you and challenge you. Set aside time each week for learning and self-improvement. Remember, growth is continuous, and there is always something for you to learn. In conclusion, challenging your mindset is a powerful way to ignite your life for life. By embracing a growth mindset, cultivating positive habits, challenging your limiting beliefs, focusing on what you can control, and seeking continuous learning and growth through accountability, you can unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. So the next time you face a challenge or feel stuck, remember these keys, these solutions, and keep it moving. Take small steps each day to change your mindset and watch as your life begins to change in remarkable ways. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best on your journey to your new mindset. Remember, it's never too it's never too late to ignite your life. Thank you.
Oh, goodness now. Okay, Dr. Lotus, this man right here need to add to his repertoire that he is a preacher, because you just preached, I almost called you pastor, but okay, Coffee Cup Chuck Doyle. These were some great takeaways. Everybody, if you have your notes, I know I'm over here writing my notes. It's bound to happen. Cultivate positive habits, challenge self-limiting beliefs, make a list of things that you can control. So we shift our thinking and hold yourself accountable for your own growth. Okay, everybody, we got to keep this thing moving. Dr. Lotus Rashay, take it away with our next speaker.
Wow. 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 That was absolutely amazing. Mr. Chuck, Coffee Cup Chuck. Give him a hand again, everybody. Woo! Let me tell you, some people say if I had your hand, I would throw my hand in. But I need my hand, so I can't throw my hand in. But I will say that was remarkable. So thank you so much, Mr. Coffee Cup Chuck. And we are moving on to the next speaker. Please make sure you connect with Mr. Coffee Cup Chuck. And the next speaker coming up is going to be Miss Brenda Wood, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. So Miss Brenda Wood is known as the professor of change and the founder of Becoming the Better You. And she's a global speaker, and she speaks on stages all around the world, from Kansas to Kenya, Africa. On changing your mindset is one of the main things that she speaks about. And in the last 6 months of her organization, she has spoken to over 5,000 youths and more. She realized the need to change in her own life. And I wanted to share that from some of the information that she has shared with me. But knowing her personally, I can say, please welcome to the stage the owner and the host of the Becoming the Better You, so that you can become not the better you just for you, but for all those who love you, who care about you, who are looking up to you to make the difference in their lives, and for those that they are making a difference in their lives. Please welcome to the platform none other than Brenda Ringwood. Woo-hoo!
And we shine.
Good morning. How is everybody? Thank you for having me. My name is Brenda Ringwood. I am known as the professor of change. Now, I don't have a doctorate, but I am a professor. And let me tell you why. It takes 10,000 hours to be a master at something. I've had over 35,000 hours. Listen, 35,000 hours alone by myself to evaluate me and the need for change. And I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. But first, I'm going to talk to you about me and my name. Because see, my name is Brenda. And I used to hate that name. Oh, man, did I hate that name. I was named after my mom, and I was named after my grandmother, and her middle name was Irene. Well, Brenda Irene Ring was my name. So I got made fun of in school. Not only that, because my mother's name was Brenda, I got called Bren, Brenny, it shortened, and I hated it. But then life happened, right? Life happened. And I realized that the name Brenda means fire or fiery sword. So when I think of the word fire, I used to think of it as destruction, destroy. And sword means I'm coming to battle, right? I'm coming in and I'm going to use the sword, and it's a sign of war. For me, that was an appropriate definition of the name Brenda. I had completely destroyed my life. I let my fire consume everything about me that was good, and it affected my mindset, where I didn't think I was now good enough, strong enough, powerful enough, smart enough, pretty enough. My weight wasn't enough. Anything about me wasn't enough. I had to change that mindset, right? But I couldn't do it alone. But because I couldn't do it alone, and because my mindset was in such a bad state, my mindship wasn't good. Did you hear me? Yeah, not a real word, mindship, but it kind of is, because the word ship is not a boat. It means the state of. So the state of my mindset was horrible, which meant my relationship with myself was bad. My relationship with my friends, with family members, with coworkers, anybody that I touched was just not in a good place. And that landed me in prison, where I had those 35,000 hours to evaluate myself. 35,000 hours, 10,000 to be a master. Let me tell you, I don't ever want to go back, but I'm really glad I did, because when I went, I got to see the real me. I got to know the real me. And I got to see that I needed to change. And not only did I need to change, that other people who hadn't been to prison were imprisoned right here in their mind. So guess what? My name now, Brenda Irene. Irene means peace. Now I can say my fire brings the peace. My fire brings the peace. So I'm a biologist by schooling. And in nature, fire cleans out the underbrush, right? It starts new. It is their way of cleaning out. So my fire now ignites. My fire now cleans the path for newness. My fire now ignites your life. You can ignite your life. You can ignite your life for life. Because let me tell you, you have to come to peace with your past so you don't go to war with your future. See, I was at war with myself. I was at war with my future until I had that peace. So now I have peace. I have peace. So I'm not at war. That little blip on that timeline for me was a life lesson. It was not a life sentence. So I said, let's help others become the best version of themselves. Let's help them to shift their mindset. Not only shift their mindset, but to change their actions. You see, you can think about it and you can say, what if? But if you don't do something about it, nothing's going to change. You have to change your actions to change your life. You can ignite it, but you got to stay the course. See, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would be doing it. Just like working out, you got to go continuously to get the results. On a diet, you have to diet continuously. It's a lifestyle change, or that weight's going to come back. So for me, my actions had to go through a lifestyle change. And that's why we have Becoming the Better You. Now, let me tell you something else. You can sit on that couch and you can say, it must be nice. Woe is me. Only if. Those are all excuses. And for the last couple of weeks, we've been doing an excuse testimony thing where we've been online talking about making excuses for your life. We tend to excuse away our relationships, why we are not doing something, why we are not talking to somebody, why we are not in the job that we want, why we are just eliminating ourselves from enjoying our life. The other thing too is a justification is an excuse. So for me, I used to have to justify why I wanted that Coach handbag, right? Or why I needed a new car, or why this or why that. That's an excuse. Justification is an excuse. So in order to change your actions, that mindset needs to be, I will, not I can. See, I can still says I can if I want to. I will is a statement that says I am going to. I am in the process of. That is a mindset shift that will change your actions, that will ignite your life. How many of you out there need to get ignited? How many of you out there need to get activated? How many out there need to change? Nobody's stopping you but you. You are the only one that's stopping you from making the changes that are going to change the mindset, that's going to change your actions, that's going to change your life. And my advice to you is to get around better people. Get around people that are going to help you support that mindset shift. Get around people who are going to encourage you, uplift you. If they are stopping you, they're not your people. They need to see the growth in you and encourage you to grow more. That's why I really love our community about Becoming the Better You, which Coffee Cup Chuck is a part of, Dr. Lotus Roche is a part of. some of the other speakers on here, Dr. Marcia Stewart is a part of. Let me tell you, your circle matters. And your circle doesn't have to have a wide reach. It has to have the right reach. Did you hear me? It doesn't have to have a wide reach. It has to have the right reach. Are you making excuses? Are you justifying what you're doing? Are you going to get out there and say, I will do this? If you are in a part of your life, a point of your life, a section of your life on a timeline, and you are stuck, that's nobody's fault but your own. Do something about it. Get up off that couch, get up out of that bed, and go do something about it. I got told to get a different profession. I got told I shouldn't be a motivational speaker because I have a past. Yeah, I have a past. My past is now what created my future because I didn't let it stop me. I could have. And let me tell you, there were situations where it almost did. But I had to get right. I had to study the ship. I had to see how the relationship was with myself, with my mindset. And once I did that, the state of myself became my flagship. My flagship, which means the state of me is the best. And every day I am trying to be better and better and better. And I am not better than anybody else but one person. And that is the person I was yesterday. You can find me everything at Brenda Ringwood. Thank you for having me, Dr. Lotus. Hashtag BTBY.
Oh, wow. Okay, Dr. Lotus, I know I'm going to turn it back over to you, but this woman has dropped some significant nuggets as well. I mean, I'm over here taking notes. I'm going to share this with my children, actually, because we have family meetings each week. And this week, this is the topic, everything that each of you all have talked about today. I've pulled nuggets from each of your topics, and no more excuses. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. I will versus I can. Oh, my gosh. Okay, Dr. Lotus, back to you. While Dr. Lotus is unmuting herself, I will tell you that nobody is stopping you but you. Nobody.
Wow, that's wow. Les Brown say his mother makes sweet potato pie that make his toes curl. Well, this made my toes curl. This made my cognitive juices start to flow even stronger. We came on the set with Janine Horn from Zenwell that came and told us about how to get our body right, how to get hydrated. And then Coffee Cup Chuck gave us a sip out of his own cup. And then now we got Brenda Ringwood on letting us know we need to get off the sofa, curling our toes and doing all of that. So, woo, I love that. I hope you all are taking notes. How many of you are taking notes? If you're taking notes, hold your notebook up, wave your pen, wave your hand, do something, because guess what? I always say it. Note takers are money makers and money makers are note takers, but you can't make no money and you can't make no change unless you take notes. Now, our next speaker, she is coming up and you definitely want to take some notes with this one, because if you are living a life that's not complete financially, and you're in a position where you want to move yourself and your family and those you love to a better place, there's no better place to be than here today. Miss Kim, would you do the honors?
I will most certainly do the honors. Nancy Alert. Okay, that right there says it all. We want to be alert. Nancy Alert is known as the multi-family expert because she has lost millions in the real estate industry. So you don't have to. You don't have to lose what she lost. So she's going to be teaching us those strategies. She's a licensed real estate broker since 1996. This woman is well-versed, and a licensed life insurance agent since 2019. Nancy has led a successful real estate practice in the Washington, D.C. area with licenses in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and Dubai. Welcome, Nancy Alert. Everybody get alert and let's welcome Nancy.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. First, I would like to thank Dr. Roche, for allowing us, giving us the opportunity to be on this platform so that we can give and receive value, so we can actually move towards living the life that we were born to live. So I know you guys could have been anywhere this morning. It's Saturday. You could have slept in, you went shopping, whatever you do on a Saturday. However, you chose to be here today, which means that you are interested in changing your life. You are interested in moving towards the greatness that you are here for. So you should have already had your pen and paper. You should have already had your pen and paper. And if you didn't, pick it up now, because I am going to give you some information that's going to change your life. The other speaker is going to give you information that's going to take you to the next level. So I'm Nancy Alert. I'm known as the multifamily unit expert. Why? Because I lost millions in the real estate industry, so you don't have to. Basically, what happened in 2008, the real estate market jumped off the cliff and decided to drag me with it. And there it was. I was living my life, selling real estate, investing, making a lot of money, just doing what I do. And then the market crashed. And at that time, we knew it was going to happen, but we thought we were going to at least have a little bit of a warning, not just, right? We didn't think we were going to have that. But the market changed. And I'd like to tell people that I was paralyzed for 3 years after that happened. And not paralyzed physically, but paralyzed mentally and emotionally, because I did everything I was supposed to do at that time to make money, help people. And now here I am in Brokeville and don't know how I got here, don't know how to leave here, never been here before, but here I am. And so for 3 years, I did nothing. I just did the real estate that came to me. I didn't go to find it. So if somebody referred somebody to me, I took care of it, and that was it. But for the most part, making decisions was so difficult. And that's why I said I was paralyzed, because I couldn't even think about, what should I eat today? What should I do? Because it's like whatever decision you've made thus far seems to have been wrong, right? And so one day, one of my clients said to me, I don't like this new Nancy. This new Nancy is not popping. She's not just saying, let's do it. Let's not pontificate. Let's not just think about it every day, think it into death. You always jumped and say, let's do it. But I don't like this new Nancy. What's going on? So I told her, and she said, look, you did it before. You can do it again. You have the knowledge. Go get, and my tagline at the time was getting it done. She's like, you Nancy Alert, go get it done. Go get it done. And so I'm like, okay. I thought about it and I decided to evaluate my experience, because people always tell you experience is the best teacher. However, evaluated experience is what's the best teacher. Because if you didn't evaluate what happened and how you got there, how are you going to be able to prevent it from happening again? How are you going to be able to stop it? How are you going to be able to move forward without making those same mistakes that you did? So I evaluated my experience and I was like, oh, okay. I actually lost $5 million in the real estate industry because I had a number of 8 properties and I lost them all. And as I was evaluating my experience, I said, I listened to all the podcasts and all the TV shows, all the people that's always talking, telling you what to do. And I'm listening. I was like, you know what? If I had owned a building instead of 8 properties, I would still have my asset right now. I would not have lost them. And here's the thing. I know you might say, well, Nancy, the market changed. Nobody was paying their rent, their mortgage, whatever. How would you have not lose the building if you had a building? Well, here's the thing. I had 8 properties, and I had 1 tenant in each property. So once the 1 tenant stopped paying the rent, who's responsible for paying the mortgage? Wells Fargo don't care that your tenant didn't pay you. They want their mortgage. And then the second person stopped paying their mortgage, their rent on the second property, you have to pay that. So for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, I was paying the mortgage on 9 properties, 8 investment properties plus the property I lived in. And at that time, you know, you sneezed and they gave you a loan. So I had 2 loans on each property because they were all stated income, no doc loans, you know, all that crazy stuff we were doing. So 2 loans on each property, and I'm paying all of those because I wanted to keep my credit score right. And eventually I'm like, Lord Jesus, I'm coming to you because I can't anymore. I'm giving it to you. Take the wheel. Take it. I'm just giving it to you. I'm not even going to look back anymore. I'm giving it to you and you're going to handle this for me. And I walked away because I could not do it anymore. But what I learned in that experience was, if I had a 4, just a 4, not even an 8 or 16, just a 4-unit building instead of the 8 properties, even if 2 people stopped paying the rent, the other 2 people would be taking care of the mortgage. So I might not be making any money, but what I would not have done was lose the asset, and the asset would still be appreciating because the other 2 people was paying the mortgage. And that's when I say, light bulb. Every single person in the United States and elsewhere needs to own at least a 4-unit building. And everyone, well, it's so expensive and it costs this. And no, it's easier to buy a 4-unit building than it is to buy a single family home or a condo. Yes? Why? Because the bank uses 75% of the rent and add that as income, so that you're able to buy more than you would by yourself. So it's when you're buying a condo, it's just your income. When you're buying a multifamily unit, it's your income plus 75% of the rent. And what I realized at that time is like, oh, this is my new movement. I am going to teach everyone how they can purchase a multifamily unit for 0 money down, no matter what your credit score is, or for 3.5% down, or the rules have changed last November where you no longer need 25% down if you already have an FHA loan. 5%, conventional financing, 5%, or an FHA loan, 3.5%, or the NACA program, NACA program, 0% down, no closing costs, no down payment, and it doesn't matter what your credit score is. So as I'm thinking about all these things, then I realize most people are where they are because of their limiting beliefs and because of the people they surround themselves with. So if you're surrounding yourself around a bunch of negative people, negative is what you got, because that's the energy you're bringing to yourself, negativity. So I said, okay, I'm going to come up with a way to show people, teach people, help them buy multifamily units. But first, before you even get to that, you have to change your mindset. You can't just be waking up, like Coffee Cup Chuck said it. You can't just jump out of bed like we do every morning, knowing that you're going to be at least 10 minutes late because you jump out of bed, you brush your teeth, you take your shower, and then you're running out, you forgot something, you forget this, you forget that, because you're just rushing into life. I am going to give you the blueprint of success. There are 5 things that every successful person does every day. And if you do these 5 things, change your mindset, and you do these 5 things, I guarantee you will be calling me up, Nancy Alert, it worked, it worked, it worked. However, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. It's not, oh, I did it last week and nothing happened. You have to be consistent. So here's where we are right now. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should say is, thank you, Jesus. I don't like to tell people what to do, but it's my suggestion. If you want to change your life, if you want to create that life that you were born to live, I suggest as soon as you open your eyes before your feet touch the ground, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Allah, whoever you pray to, for giving me another day so I can move towards fulfilling the purpose of my life. The first thing you do when you wake up is pray or meditate. You give yourself 5 to 35 minutes and you set the standard for your day. You have to be intentional. You are intentional about what you want to do today. And then in the evening, You're thankful that you were able to do 3 of the 5 things you wanted to do today, or all 5 things you wanted to do today. You're thankful that you were able to bless some people. You're thankful that you saw the sunset. You are thankful in the morning. You're thankful in the evening. Pray and meditate, the first thing you do. The next thing you do is read. You have to read. If you're not reading, you're not elevating yourself. You need to pour into you, more into you than you do into that job. See, if you're at that job 9 to 5, you're giving them your all, but what are you giving to you? How are you improving your life? How are you changing your mindset? What are the books? Put it in the chat right now. What are the last 3 books you've read that had an impact or was supposed to have an impact on your life? Put it in the chat. So 3 books that I personally have read and has had significant changes in my life. And one is, and it's been written for 100 years, it's the Bible. 5 million years, the Bible. It is the best. That is a bestseller. It is the best book written, the Bible. And then Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Everyone should read that book. You can buy it for $1.99, I don't know, on Amazon. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. There's a number of other books and other motivational speakers that you can look up on YouTube. Steve Harvey is one of them. You know, Oprah, I love what she has to say. You know, read and listen, because some of us don't like to read. We prefer to listen. And thank goodness of the technology that we're in right now, we can listen to the books. We don't have to read it. So read, you pray, you meditate, you read, right? And of course, you have to work on your body. You have to exercise. You have to exercise. Whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, 30 minutes walking, every day you have to move. Because what point is it for you putting all this great stuff in your mind, in your head, and getting ready to go change the world, and then your body gives out because you're not being intentional about taking care of you? I know a lot of times we take care of everybody else and we leave ourselves for last. I'm going to tell you right now, be selfish. Be selfish. Think of you first. You know, when you're on the airplane, what does the flight attendant or I don't know what the appropriate word for the person that takes care of you on the plane anymore, what the politically correct name, but I'm going to say flight attendant right now. So the flight attendant, what is the first thing they tell you? Handle yourself first. If there is turbulence, if there's problem, put your mask on first before you helping anybody else. You can't help anyone if you haven't helped yourself first. Help yourself first. If people say that's selfish, then be selfish. Okay? Be selfish. Take care of you first. That's taking care of your body. And you have to write your goals down. What is the point in having a goal in your head or a business plan? When was the last time you looked at that goal? When was the last time you looked at that business plan? Yeah, you wrote it 8 years ago, but if you're not looking at it every week, every month, how do you know how you're going? How do you know how you're moving? How do you know if you have reached your goals, if you're surpassed it, if you're close to it? You have to write it down. You have to look at it every day. It's like a vision. My life is on a vision board, and almost everything that's on my vision board has come through, and the rest is on its way. It's on its way. You have to be looking at it every day for it to happen. They say ask, believe, and receive. But you also have to do your part, right? You can't just say, oh, I asked God for it and it's just going to happen. You ask, you believe, you will receive. However, you have to participate in you getting what it is you're putting out in the universe that you want. And you have to be intentional about what it is you want. Because I want more money. Okay, here's $1. You got more money, right? I want to lose weight. Okay, you lost a pound. You said you wanted to lose weight, and you did. You lost a pound. You have to be, I want to lose. And we have to be careful how we phrase things because our brain is listening to what we're saying. I tell myself, I am a perfect size 6 when I was looking to lose weight. And like, I want to lose weight. I am a perfect size 6. I am a perfect size 6. I am debt free. I am a multi-millionaire. Whenever you say I am, it must be followed by a positive. Not I am too fat. I am in so much debt. That's what your brain is hearing. When you say I am, say it with me, people. I am enough. I am a multi-millionaire. I am debt-free. I am whatever it is you want to be. I am followed by the positive. Because if I am fat, I am never going to lose weight. I am this, and that's how it's going to be, and that's how it's going to be. Okay? So remember, pray, meditate, read. Read, you should read a new book every month. Write it down so that you're looking at it every day. Exercise. And the last thing is take action and be persistent. So here you are at this summit, clearly because you want to improve your life and get to the goals and your dreams and all of that. So you are here this Saturday morning. You've gone to several other summits and workshops and all of that. And what did you do? Did you implement anything that you've learned? Remember, education without implementation is entertainment. I'm Nancy Alert.
All right. Dr. Lotus Richer, I know that you have a whole lot to say from what this woman has shared with us. Nancy Alert has us on our toes. Thank you, Jesus. That's my personal preference. Thank you, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in my case. And being able to read. And I read very frequently. All of my children read. As a result of that, I believe that they've become stronger leaders. So thank you so much for that inspiration and just endorsement. Exercising every day, every single day, writing our goals down and being able to implement what we learn. This is some good stuff, Nancy Alert. Thank you so much. Everybody give it up for Nancy. Dr. Lotus, take it away.
Wow. I don't know. All I can say is welcome to Ignite Your Life for Life Summit. And we have been placed on alert by Nancy Alert. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Nancy, for what you shared. Everybody, come on, put your hands together for Nancy Alert. Put your hands together and be sure to give each speaker some love in the chat. Nancy, I absolutely thank you for what you shared. It's without question that a lot of us have been through tough times because when life happens, life be lifing. And when life starts lifing, our credit can suffer, our personal relationships can suffer, where we live, what we know, right down to our cellular being can suffer. But you have lost millions, and I didn't even know this, y'all, till today. She lost 5 million. Did you hear her say 5 million? I thought she just lost 1 million. Now listen, if I lose 1,000, that's something to be like, but you said 5 million. So folks, make sure you stick around because at the end, like we shared, we're going to have a question and answer, and you can ask some real in-depth questions. And having become able to know Nancy personally, I see how she is rising. And so I want to know how to get the 5 million. So Nancy, we want to thank you again as we prepare for our next speaker. Let's give it up again for Miss Nancy Alert. Woo woo! So, Kim, that was great. And
that was incredible.
Hey,
there are no excuses. Anybody, all we have at this point is results from every one of these speakers that we've heard today. You can only commit to moving forward in the best way possible based on these teachings. Okay, our next speaker trainer is what I really should say. Our next trainer is going to be Angie Elting. Angela Elting. We call her Angie. So Angie Elting is the founder and CEO of Rugger Wellness, Family Readiness Supervisor. She's a supervisory program analyst, a regional work and family life coordinator, work and family life consultant, education services facilitator, American Red Cross CPR facilitator, Guinness World Record holder in 2020. I mean, that's during the pandemic, y'all, and this woman is getting recognized for holding the Guinness World Record. International best-selling author, financial and administrative management and support expert. She is a suicide prevention program specialist and psycho-educational and prevention program expert. I knew there was something about Angela Elting that just was like a calming force whenever I encountered her. So I am honored to present Angie Elting to you all today. Take it away, Angie. Let's give her a round of applause.
Konnichiwa, hajimemashite, Angie desu. Hello, everyone. I'm Angie, and thank you for all those accolades. Thank you, Kim Jacobs. Thank you, Dr. Lotus Richer. I want to thank you, and I want to just share so much with you. First of all, I want to say that I was a former captain of the Japan women's rugby team. And so with this experience, I'm going to share with you why it's important to jumpstart your health and wellness so we can ignite your life for life. So think about it. Why is your health important? Your health is at the center of your life. So with your paper and pen or something to write with, I want you to do an activity with me. Draw in the middle of your paper a circle. And in that circle, write your name on there. And in the next 30 seconds, write down all the things that are important in life, in your life. Now, I want you to repeat 3 things. This was similar to what Nancy had said and what some of the other speakers before me that had said. Say with me, when I am healthy, I have all things that are important in my life.
I have all things that are important in my life.
I am healthy. I have all things important in my life.
I have all things important in my life.
I am healthy.
I am healthy.
I have and list all the things that you have in your paper in my life. So every part of your life relies on you having good health. Without good health, you have nothing. And without you, there is no you to enjoy the important things with all the things you've listed on your paper. So in order to ignite your life, forward life, got to jumpstart your health and wellness. And here are 3 things. 1, eat anti-inflammatory foods. 2, incorporate movement and exercise. And 3, have to stay stress-free. So assess yourself. Assess yourself on the types of foods do you eat. Doesn't matter if you love to eat meat, you love to just only eat vegetables, that you're a vegetarian or a vegan or you're paleo or you name it, doesn't matter. But the important thing is to eat anti-inflammatory foods. Why? Because inflammatory foods, you know what these are. They cause stress. It overworks our mitochondria. It produces excessive radicals. And then you have chronic illnesses and diseases. Some of us can relate to that, and we know people who do. These are the foods that are processed with empty calorie foods. They are refined sugars. They're made of gluten. They might be dairy, hydrogenated oils and fats, you name it. By eating an anti-inflammatory foods, it is a variety of foods. Again, it doesn't have to be vegan or vegetarian. It contains a lot of antioxidants and healthy fats. So we're talking about fruits like berries and citrus fruits and cherries and pomegranates, especially fruits that are darker in color. Vegetables, you hear this all the time. Eat your leafy greens, eat your kale, eat your spinach, eat broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower. healthy fats like olive oil, avocado oil, and of course those healthy high fats like avocado and olives. What about fish? Those who love fish, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, tuna. For those fish lovers, there are other foods as well. Perhaps there are beans and legumes, mushrooms, even chocolate, dark chocolate, spices like turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, and even drinks like green tea and even, yes, I'm going to say it, red wine in moderation. But one way to boost our anti-inflammatory food is to eat plant-rich foods every day. And the easiest way to consume it every day is by adding 3 to 4 veggies in every meal. So think about eating the rainbow. So look at the plate that you eat every day and check to see, do I have 3 to 4 fruits and vegetables? Because fruits and vegetables have antioxidants, carotenoids, which are the minerals and vitamins and phytonutrients that help us to reduce the inflammation in our body. And it helps to prevent those chronic diseases. Other benefits, it helps to lower our blood pressure, helps to boost your mental health and cognitive function. It helps to maintain a healthy weight. And you have no need to have supplements, no need at all. So assess what you eat, make it colorful. Number 2, integrate movement and exercise. Now, this is my favorite part, of course, you can guess, right? It helps to keep the body healthy and strong. It improves the ability for us to manage the daily skills of our daily life. We do many functional skills that's important for us to be able to move and exercise. So simple things as climbing stairs, tying our shoes, maybe reaching the shelf, even just getting in and out of the car, maybe having to run after a taxi or a plane or a bus if needed. Sometimes we don't realize how beneficial and how thankful we are that we're healthy, that we can move until we can't. So what is part of your daily movement? Put it in the chat. What kind of exercises or movements do you do to improve your daily functions? So what I'm going to do is introduce you to some twisting exercises. How many people like to twist? Or do you even know what that is? Twisting. Twisting, just twisting your body, right? Why twisting? It's something simple. It's controlled rotation through your spine, and it helps the sequence of your core muscles, front, back, all around, right? Helps you to work the whole body in tandem. It helps to increase the stability of our spine, which is important. Activates our muscles of our shoulders, our arms, our abs, and our hips as well. It benefits the whole body all at the same time. Restores proper movement, increase motion, decrease pain and discomfort. This is what we want in an exercise, right? It aids our digestion and detoxes our body. Detoxes the body from waste, lactic acid, any kind of acid in your body, gives us a stronger core. And guess what? No equipment needed. So I'm going to be teaching you what I call Tabata twist exercise. Tabata, T-A-B-A-T-A. This is a type of high intensity interval training, or HIIT, H-I-I-T for those who know it. It aims to yield the most benefits in a short amount of time, using timed intervals and short recovery times. Tabata, or Tabata, is named after a Japanese speed skating coach. He designed the workout to improve cardiovascular fitness and even build muscular strength all at the same time. So I'm going to teach you to complete 8 rounds of 20 seconds of maximum effort with 10 seconds rest for a total of just 4 minutes. I usually perform this exercise at least 2 sets for a total of 10 minutes with 1 minute rest in between. But today, we're just going to start with just one set. So what we're going to do is you're welcome to just stay sitting where you are, or why don't you join me and just stand up and we're going to get started. All right. Let me check the screen here to see if we got some people moving around. We just need to kind of get our blood flowing. All right. Get our blood flowing. So this will be helpful if you do stand. But again, if you can't, if you're not comfortable, it's quite all right. So a lot of times there are various programs on the internet that you can utilize that has already have a timed timer of 20 seconds and 10 seconds rest, as well as music to go along. So I'm going to share some music that is already timed. I'm going to share with you 8 exercises, and all we're going to do is a placement of using our hands, and we're just twisting our body throughout. Doesn't matter how fast you do it or how slow you do it. The main thing is just do it. All right. So just be like Nike. So here we go. I'm going to give you the instructions as we go along. All right.
Welcome to Tabata. Here we go.
All right. So the first thing we're going to do, put your hands on your head and just twist. Keep twisting. All right. So be sure to squeeze your core as you're twisting. What we're doing is we're toning our arms and even relieving the stress of our neck as we're doing this. All right, 10 seconds rest. Next exercise, I call these angel wings. Put your hands on your shoulders and we're going to twist just like this. All right, go ahead and do your angel twist. I call these angel twists because you see the wings. We're working on strengthening these wings. Our bis and tris, and also our upper back muscles here. All right. All right, next exercise, we're going to put our hand on our upper belly. So here's your belly button, put your hands on top, and we're going to get ready to twist.
3, 2, 1.
All right, twist. Twist and squeeze. Twist and squeeze. Feel your and engage your core. It'll help you to burn the fat around whittle your middle. All right. This helps with your upper shoulders and your upper back as well. All right. Good job, everyone. All right. The next one we're going to do is our lower muscles. Lower belly. Put your hand under your belly button and twist. Good job. Squeeze and twist. Enjoy that music as you're twisting. You can look forward as you twist, or you can just look all the way, full range of motion. All right, halfway there. Next one is, since I played a lot of volleyball as well as rugby, we're going to clasp your hands up front, just like a volleyball bump, and we're going to twist. Keep your arms together, keep it straight, don't bend it. We just keep it straight and only go as far as you can. You can feel the isolation of your spine when you're feeling this and all this areas. Plus, we're also toning our arms as we're in this position. All right. We're going to do some arm swings. Just like a full arm swing. Hopefully you don't have anything around you that you're going to bump into. You can feel the stretch of your chest. You can feel the stretch of your arms just freely. Try to keep your arms parallel from your body and not below. Get this full range of motion. All right. Last 2 exercises. I call this the sexy twist. Why? Because we're going to put our hands to the up top and below. Doesn't matter, right hand up or below. And in this pose, we are sexy twisting. Show me your sexy twist. Show me your sexiness. So we're doing upper and lower body all at the same time, and our obliques, our side muscles. Woohoo! All right, so we have to have a complete set. Switch arms and switch from top to bottom. Last 20 seconds, everyone. Great job. Thank you for continuing. Last bit of sexy twist. Twist and squeeze. Twist and squeeze. Yes. Enjoy the music and be happy. Last 5 seconds. Woohoo! Everyone give yourself a round of applause. How was that? How was that? I hope you really enjoyed those twists. Enjoyed those twists. All right. You can shake it out if you need to. Be sure you're hydrating after your exercise. And let me give you a little bit more information. Cardio exercise, at least for 10 minutes a day, can have a myriad of benefits. It improves your cardiovascular endurance. It also helps to elevate your heart and strengthen your heart, even lowers your blood pressure and reduces risk of heart disease. Did you know that even just 3 minutes of exercise, even if you can't do 10, but even light workout in the morning helps to improve your sleep quality, stimulating your restorative processes as you sleep, as well as reducing your body temperature. Cognition. There was a study in 2018 that found that 10 minutes of activity can increase the connectivity between the parts of your brain that's responsible for memory and recall. Cardio exercises also improves the circulation in your heart and throughout your body, helps to support mental health and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. And last but not least, it can also lower your feelings of stress, help people that deal with their stressful situations, and even exercise, even after exercise session is over. So as I mentioned, stress, the last tip is to stay stress-free. It's important to add a relaxing protocol in your day, in your routine to be able to reduce your overall stress. Consider breathing exercises. Consider meditation and journaling, as Coffee Cup Chuck mentioned, and as Nancy Alert had mentioned. Breathing helps to promote relaxation. It reduces stress. It helps to improve our immune system. It helps us to increase our mental clarity and our emotion control. It helps us to just to calm down. Meditation helps to develop our mental awareness. It helps us to have a sense of calmness, peace, and even our emotional energy, our overall health, physical health, emotional health, and even decrease inflammation at the cellular level, as well as having spiritual connection. Journaling, as we already heard from several of our speakers, helps where we're just writing down our thoughts and our feelings just to reflect about our experience. Researchers say that journaling for at least 15 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times a week, significantly improves our physical and mental health. So what activities are you going to do to incorporate in your daily routine? What are you going to do to ignite your life for life? Start with jump-starting your health with those 3 tips that I shared with you: anti-inflammatory foods, exercise and movement, and stay stress-free. So join me if you need some assistance to ignite your life for life and jumpstart your health and wellness. Ciao for now.
Wow, wow, wow. I feel like I have had a good workout. I had to powder my face for a few seconds messing with you, Angie. I said, I don't know if you ever heard this one commercial. It's Kevin Hart. I don't even bet or anything, but he said, "You made my wings cold, Draft King, and you made my wings cold with it." Angie, absolutely awesome. Being able to eat anti-inflammatory foods. Every time I see you, it's some bok choy or something over there that you all are preparing. Assessing ourselves in situations. And I wrote in my circle all kinds of tips and people and things that are important to me in my life. All of the different oils that you shared, eating plant-rich foods, Tabata exercise. That's going to be a part of my routine probably forever now, thanks to you. And then just knowing that 10 minutes, something as small as 10 minutes can make a difference in our lives, ultimately leading us to having a stress-less life, hopefully. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Angela Elting. Let's turn it back over to Dr. Lotus Richer.
Sorry, I'd be so excited. I had to turn my mic off, y'all, because I'd be like, yeah, go. So I'll be saying that y'all won't even be able to hear the person. But listen, wow, Kim, it was absolutely great. I felt so refreshed, Angela. I was able to sit and just breathe. I felt so much better. And for all of us, many of us live very, very productive lives. So we need this in our life. And what I absolutely love, and if you guys love this, I want you to put a 10 in the chat. Put a 10 in the chat. It was easy. It was so easy.
Yes.
It's so simple. And we could do it. We could do it in the car. We could do it in the chair. Many of you were doing it in your chair. You could do it standing up. You could do it holding a baby. If you got a baby or got grandkids, like many of you, Denise, got grandkids. I think Miss Sherelle, just people got grandkids. Miss Shirley got grandkids. Miss LaDonna may have grandkids. Just got grandkids. Mr. Chuck may have some, and if not, there might be one on the way, Mr. Chuck. But anyway, I don't know. But it's so easy. So I thank you for that. And one of the things that you shared with us right afterward, and that I absolutely love, is hydrate. Y'all see me, I'm drinking my green juice, and then I got my barley tea, and then I got some water. This is the last resort because I try not to drink out of plastic bottles. But wow, thank you so much for sharing that. Everybody, let's give Miss Angela another round of applause. Woo woo, woo woo, woo woo. Thank you, Miss Angela. We appreciate you. Wow, Kim. Wow, that was awesome.
Incredible.
That was awesome. So
I think this conference is incredible. Just so you know, this should be a global conference that's going everywhere in major cities around the country, because this is very helpful information.
And we're working on that. And Miss Kim Jacobs is going to be a part of that too, because we want to keep giving to the Gates Heart Foundation. And so we're going to take a quick break here before we go to our next speaker. And we want to share some information with you that may have just been joining us. We want to thank you first for being here, everyone for being here. Many of you have just flown into certain areas. I got a message from Miss Sherelle Mims. She had just flown into where she was going, or drove into where she was going. Let me make sure I say that right. And she just got into the hotel. Great job, Miss Angie. She did her thing before the time was up. But here's the thing. We have Dr. Marcia. Dr. Marcia is on travel, and she's just joining us back again. And all of you have a lot going on. Our speaker earlier, Miss Brenda Wood, she actually is on the road because she had a loss in her family. And so, Brenda, we thank you. We love you. Our prayers are for you, and our heart goes out to you. And of course, Mr. Chuck Doyle, he's had a very, very huge week this week, just like all of you, Miss Horn and Miss Dr. LaDonna or Dr. Luana, and all of our team. Many of our team members are here. Many of our visitors from all around the world, they are here. And so I just want to thank you for taking a moment in your life to ignite your life for life. Because the more you ignite your life for life, the more that you're going to help other people do the same. Because you are a beacon of hope. You're a reflection of what it means to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. So with no further ado, we are about to bring to you the next speaker. And before we do that, I want you to put in the chat, each person that you've heard speak so far, each person you've heard speak so far. So we heard Miss Janine Horn, right? She came in, she started us out just igniting and taking flight. Put her name in the chat and give her a hug, give her some love. Go ahead, give her some of that, okay? That's right, because we get ready for our next two speakers. So come on, let's give everybody that went before them some love. Give them some love. And then who do we hear from next? Who we heard from? Somebody open your mic. I already know. Somebody tell me. Miss LaDonna, do you know who the second speaker was? Who we heard from second? Who was it? Open your mic. Tell us who it was.
The second speaker was Kim.
The second speaker was?
Yeah, Chuck would be the next one.
Chuck That's right. But she did say something before.
Yes.
I love it. Give it up.
Yes, I deliver.
I love it. She paying attention, y'all, and taking notes. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we want to hear from you, Miss Shirley Patterson. Who was the third speaker? And if you don't know, look in the chat. Somebody is doing their job overtime. Who was the third speaker?
Chuck Doyle.
Brenda
Chuck-
Ringwood.
Brenda
The
Ringwood.
professor
That's
of
what we're
change.
talking about. Give Brenda and Chuck some love. Come on, give them some love. Shoot them some hearts in there. Put their name in there. Shoot them some hearts. That's what I'm talking about. After Brenda came and rocked the mic, who was the next speaker? Who was the next speaker?
Chuck Doyle.
Chuck Doyle was ahead of that person. It was Chuck and Brenda. So put Chuck name in, give him some love. Put Brenda name in, give her some love. And then after Brenda, there was somebody else. Who was that?
Nancy.
It was Nancy, the alert factor. That's right, Nancy. She alerted us about our finances, about doing better. She alerted us to how she lost millions so we don't have to. But boy, did I not know she lost 5 million. That is wow. And she's living to tell about it. And y'all, if you've never been to her office, you got to go there. We did a live broadcast from there the other day. So, but anyway, put Nancy's name in there and please, please go and give Nancy some love. Give Nancy some love because transparency is everything. A lot of times people don't want to tell you that they've lost everything. They don't want to tell you that because they don't want you to know. But thank you so much, Nancy, for your transparency. So now, Kim, are we ready?
Absolutely. Stay ready.
Yeah. All right, we stay ready.
That's right.
But we got to talk about our last speaker, Angela Elton. She just spoke with us. Put her name in the chat and give us some love. And now, I'd like all of you to put your hands together for all the speakers that started their times already. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, so Kim, it's time.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. All right, everybody. Kim, take it away.
Okay, so is this going to be the Dr. Stewart one?
No, I think it's going to be, I'm supposed to announce the next one.
Is it Dr. Lawana? Are you? Yeah, we do. You, girl, we talked about this backstage. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to you because I want to make sure, since you're the main host, that you get the honors of introducing some people too. So I'm turning it over to Dr. Lotus Richer. And everybody, as I turn it over to her, let's give her a big round of applause because putting a conference together of this magnitude takes a lot of work, lots of behind the scene effort, and lots of teamwork. So I just want to congratulate you on a successful conference today, Dr. Lotus Richer. Take it away.
Thank you so much. Woo woo! All right, so none of that was scripted, but yeah, we already knew who was coming up next. See, when you are with a balanced doctor, she keeps things balanced. Give Kim a hand also. Woo woo! Yeah, I appreciate it. Our next speaker that's coming before you today is Dr. LaWanna Parker. LaWanna is an accomplished author. She's a blogger. She's a TikToker. She's an influencer, and she's a transformation mentor. She supports individuals in their personal growth, journaling, and legacy creation with a warm and friendly approach. Dr. LaWanna inspires, empowers, and elevates people to achieve their fullest potential and create a meaningful life that's worth living. Please welcome Dr. LaWanna Parker. Put your hands together. Woo woo!
Thank you so much. Almost makes me afraid to speak after all of that. Hello, everyone. I am excited to be here this morning to share this with these amazing women. I mean, the messages, and Chuck, the messages that you put out here are just fabulous. You know, one of the things that I always wanted to do was to be a writer. And I discovered that 80% of people want to write, but only about 2% actually do it. I was one of those 2% for a long time. Before I get into my message, I want to thank Dr. Lotus for inviting me here today. This has been amazing to hear each of you speak. And you humble me is all I can say. But I want to tell you how I got started into journaling, which is something that has been mentioned throughout the messages today. I had two reasons to actually get into it. First, when I was at my lowest point, I heard this word journaling in my mind, and I decided it had to be coming from God, because why on earth would I be thinking about journaling of all things? And I figured it was because I complained so much, you know? I don't know about you, but I ran and I raved and I don't know what to do. Why is it that everybody seems to know what their mission is and I don't? And I try so hard to be the kind of person you want me to be. So what's missing? I mean, I grumbled and carried on. And I think that's why he got me at my lowest point, and that's what he told me to do, journal. So I started looking into it, and I discovered that there is a lot to journaling that we don't know. One of our speakers said today that we should do at least 15 minutes a day of journaling. And I totally agree. But if all you can spare is 5 minutes, take 5 minutes and just write, today is the best day of my life. Something to put it on paper, because it makes such a difference. So here's what me. Because of that, I ended up actually doing some journaling, which turned into a book. But I was reminded of something that had happened in my life, something horrendous that I'm never completely going to get over. I've learned to live with it, but it's there always. In 1989, I lost my son to a car accident. He was exactly 23 years and 23 days old when he died in a car accident. But he left me something that I didn't pay attention to until after I got into journaling. And I was reminded that the things that the military sent me included a journal that I gave him when he was 5 years old, starting kindergarten. I gave that to him and I never thought about that journal again. So I went looking for it to see where I put it, because at the time I received it, I didn't want to look at anything that I had gotten. It was just too painful. But when I pulled out that journal and I looked at it and I realized how valuable that journal was to me, because I got to see my son grow up all over again up through his military time. He actually kept that up. Every year that he was in school, he put something in there. I mean, he was a boy, he didn't put a lot, but he put something in there, a picture, a word, a place he went, something so that I could see him grow. And that has meant so much to me that he left that behind for me. And because I felt it was so important, I knew I had to let other people know the same thing. You need to start creating a legacy for your family. And the best way you can do that is to start with a journal. It may turn into a book. I don't know. You may not be interested in turning it into a book, but think about what you could leave behind. Every time I pull that out, and I don't pull it out too often because it really does hurt me to go back and see all of that. But at the same time, I'm so grateful to have that. His nieces and nephew who never got a chance to meet him, his son who barely remembers him, have an opportunity to go through his life with him. So let's talk about starting a journey. Every journey, as they say, begins with a single step. And it might sound like a cliche, but it is true. So just like when you start a new game or you learn a new skill, the beginning is always the hardest part. But guess what? You've already taken that first step just by being here today and taking notes from these speakers who have given such valuable information to you. So give yourself a pat on the back because you're already on the path to transformation. The next one is you need to start facing your challenges. And let's be real, our journey is not smooth and easy. Trust me, I have taken more than one journey on different things that I have enjoyed doing, and it is not an easy path. There's always some challenge, and sometimes those challenges come from well-meaning friends who think they're doing you a favor by helping you not make a decision that might not work so well, rather than, you know what, I got your back. No matter what's happened, I'm going to be there to support you. The first mentor I ever had was like that. In fact, she was the first mentor I had, period, that I knew always had my back. She saw things in me that I didn't see. And no matter what it was that we were going to be doing, she'd always say, I got you. And that came to mean a great deal to me. She's been gone for quite a few years now, but I have never forgotten how she's always stood behind me no matter what. Now, another important thing, and this really is important, and we take it for granted. And when we start talking about setting goals, if you don't set a goal and you don't make those little tiny steps, and I say tiny because sometimes you can create this really big goal that you want to accomplish. And then the mind starts saying, oh, what are you talking about? You're not going to be able to do that. You've never done this before. What makes you think you're going to do it now? So set the goal, but make small steps toward that goal. If it means you need to go back to school to get something, go back to school and get it. If it means something that you need help with now, but you don't know it, then find someone who knows it that can help you with it. And every step along the way, this is really important. Every step along the way, as you accomplish those steps, reward yourself. There is nothing like knowing you have accomplished something and you now get to reap the benefits of that, of what you've done. For me, everybody knows I love reading romance stories. So for me, it means I get to take time to read, and I don't care what else is going on around me. I've dedicated that time. I'm reading a romance story, okay? That's it. So for you, it could be anything, but whatever it is, it has to be something that you don't get to do that often, but it's something you truly want to do because you love it. So make it a reward. And it doesn't have to be the same reward. It could be different rewards for each step along the way. I'm happy with reading. That's my thing, okay? So setting the goals are extremely important because if you don't know what you want, you're never going to get anything. And that was part of my problem why I was complaining so much, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, I had all these interests and they were all over the place. And I knew in my heart that whichever one of those I chose, I would be good at. But they just weren't moving me until this came along. And I feel I have helped so many people just by working with them through journaling. I've helped some people get their books published. One girl who came to me, she's been working on her book, she said, for about 10 years. And she now has it published. In fact, much as I hate to say it, she's made more money off of that book than I have off of mine. And it's been sitting out there for several years. But she did it. And it makes me feel good that I had a small part in helping her to do that. I've helped people who were depressed and didn't know what they wanted to do. They didn't want to go and talk to a counselor or something like that. And I just have them, I said, let's just write. Yeah, we're just gonna write. And that has been a great help to a number of females. I'm so proud of the fact that I can say I've helped people just through the process of writing was on their mind. So, you know, having that goal, when I decided that was what I was going to do, and I studied for it, and I started speaking about it to let other people know about it, it's been a big help for me as well. Now, here's another one that's really hard for some people, and it was very hard for me, and that's staying motivated. You know how hard it is to stay motivated when you're trying to do something you've never done before, and you've got people who are trying to boo-hoo you on the side, telling you wasting your time. There's no money in that. Well, maybe there isn't a whole lot of money in it, but I do make something, and I'm comfortable with the fact that I help people. That's a big reward. And I feel blessed because it seems like to me, the Lord always takes care of my needs. My wants are extra bonuses that sometimes he gives to me, but he definitely takes care of my needs. And you have to learn and grow. And you do that through reading. It's been suggested that we should be reading books. I agree with you about the Bible and Think and Grow Rich. I actually read Think and Grow Rich when I was a teenager because I thought it might help me. I didn't apply it, but I read it anyway. And then later in life, I did read it again. And I have read it several times, but reading going to help your mind and to grow, make you stronger, make you more confident is a necessity. And this is something you have to do for yourself. You can't depend on somebody else. You've got to get out there and do it yourself. And the big one is surrounding yourself with people who are of like mind. You want to find friends, mentors, and colleagues who support and encourage you because positive energy is contagious. When you're around people who believe in you, you start to believe in yourself too. They help you to become stronger, and it's tremendous to have that support system. It has been great for me to have people like Dr. Lotus and a number of other people who I started hanging around with. I wasn't on their level, but just being around them helped me to grow and become stronger and better than where I was at before. So I came from down here feeling sorry for myself to where I'm at now. And the road to getting there, man, I had to pay attention to people who knew more than I did and accept that sometimes I made errors, but as Chuck said, got to be accountable for what you do. And that's an important thing as well. So again, I'm reminding you of celebrating your wins because I think that is so important. That's why I'm mentioning it twice here. I think if we recognize what we've done and be comfortable with what we've done, it's a big win. So in conclusion, as I wrap up my talk here, I want to leave each of you with one original quote. And that is that transformation isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. So remember the journey to transformation, it is ongoing. And there's always room to grow, to learn and improve. You have to accept and embrace every moment but don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. It's on when you step out your comfort zone, you know you're growing. If you're doing something and there's a sense of fear, you know you've gotten out of your comfort zone and you're growing, and just keep going. Only you have the power to create the life that you want. I mean, all of us have shared messages here this morning, but only you have the power to make the difference. So, as a way of saying thank you, I have a journal. It's a basic journal that each of you are welcome to. I will put it in the chat. But I'd also like to invite you to attend Journey to Transformation event that I'm doing on the 22nd of June. And the link is also in the chat, but I'll put it back in there again. It has been a pleasure to be here with all of you. And I just love you and thank you for the beautiful messages that you've shared, because you reinforce the things that I myself need as much as anyone else. Thank you.
Dr. LaWanna Parker. Let's give it up for Dr. Parker, everybody. Okay, these are of wisdom that she shared. I mean, like
Yes.
nuggets, right, Dr. Lotus?
Woo! Yes, ma'am. I love how you came and you so your pitch and your flow, and it was like you was taking us on a journey to helping us really see ourselves. And I got to tell you, Dr. LaWanna, she talks about how she's changing herself and not pitying herself, and because she's like 45, people think 45 might be a little older. Look at her, she's like, I ain't 45, but all right, I got it wrong, 44. So we think sometimes as we mature that nobody wants to listen to us, or that we don't have value, but we know that we have value. And we see this in each and every one of us. There are several generations here, whether you all know it or not. There are several generations, and there are people from many countries, many backgrounds. Some were born wealthy, some were born not wealthy, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing I have to say, Dr. LaWanna, is that, you know what? I saw her make her post on her page. Dr. LaWanna went to TikTok and made sure she's doing her thing. And so we know that when you ignite for your life, you can do just about anything. And you are a testament to that. Let's give it up for Dr. LaWanna Parker. Woo, woo! I love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. LaWanna Parker. And we have we are just having an amazingly blessed day. And so with no further ado, we have Dr. Stewart that's going to be coming to us momentarily. But before we bring Dr. Stewart up, we would like for you to please give some love to Dr. LaWanna Parker in the chat. We got 1 minute. Let's make it happen. Woo woo! I'm loving it. Let me get.
And just so you know, I'm a great grandmother.
Wow.
I was born in the first half of the last century.
Wow. Wait, we got to spotlight you. She said the first half of the first century. Did she say that again?
I said I was born in the first half of the last century.
Wow.
Before 1950.
Wow.
I've been around quite a while. Back when we used outhouses, and chamber pots under the bed, kerosene lamps. So,
wow. Ignite your life for life. This is one reason why we do this, because we know that everyone has a story. Their story is their power, and their power is their story. And Dr. LaWanna, I just want to thank you, because when I talked about generations, I didn't know that we went that far back generationally. It's a testament to the fact that we are stronger because of how and who we're connected with. And I think you said that, and other people said that. That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for telling us about your son, because I didn't know that. But many of us have suffered a loss. And that's not easy to share sometimes. So I want to thank you for sharing that, because it helps somebody here. And it's going to help somebody once we broadcast this live. Okay? It's going to help somebody else. So thank you, Dr. Parker. Give it up for Dr. Parker. Woo woo! Yeah, give us some love in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Give us some love in the chat.
Thank you.
So with no further ado, Kim,
Yes.
we got the phenomenal MS, the Dr. MS coming to us. I think, you're going to talk about her. And since you're going to talk about her, I'm about to move out the way.
Okay. All right. Now, is it Dr. Marcia or Dr. Marsha? Because I never want to mess anybody's name up.
You had it right the first time.
Dr. Marsha. Okay.
Marcia.
Dr.
Yes.
Marcia. Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Marcia, I can already just feel you through the whole virtual experience here. So I can only imagine if we were face to face and being able to hug each other. But Dr. Marcia Stewart is a retired Navy veteran who uses her experience and knowledge in workforce development to build and grow the workforce and leaders of tomorrow. Marcia works with organizations and individuals as a consultant in identifying ways to grow engagement, leaders, and employees, and improve the day-to-day operations. Marcia continuously gives back to the community through her volunteer efforts with veterans, youth, and in the community with other community leaders. I am so honored to have Dr. Marcia Stewart with us today here on the virtual Ignite Your Life for Life conference. Welcome, Dr. Marcia. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate that intro. So today, as I've listened to the speakers that I had an opportunity to hear, it all talks about how do you find that thing that's going to ignite you and make you want to be motivated and go do whatever it is that you're supposed to do. So today, I want to talk to you about, are you working to the right goal? We talk about we want to be better and we want to do better. How can we do that if we aren't working to the right thing? Because what happens is the more you work to it, how will you succeed? You won't, because you're not working to the right goal. So how do you work to the right goal? One of the ways you can work to the right goal, we've already talked about it, talked about journaling, right? But it's going to take more than journaling. It's going to be you have to be able to identify what that goal is. Anybody on, come off of mute and tell me, how do you identify the goal that you need to work on for the next year or the next day or the next month? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody want to say it?
I'm going to say it because I'm not going to miss my blessing. I'm just going to say, how do I move to the next goal is by connecting with people just like you that can send some wisdom into these bones to help get me motivated and help me stay focused. That's how I can do it.
All right, Nancy, look like you wanted to say something.
I would say in order for you to get to that goal, you have to write it down. You have to write it down and you have to look at it every day, every week, every month, not once a year. Yeah.
Right. All right. So we talked about who else had something to say? Sorry.
I was just going to say that I look at critical success factors. I look at the big overarching goal first, and then I actually decide what strategies I'm going to need to implement. And then the day-to-day, just keep breaking it down from a bite-sized piece scenario. And if I don't get it down, it won't happen. So every day, what has to be done that day in order to accomplish the goal. But ultimately, everything that I do is based, in my opinion, on the will of God for my life. So all of that is subject to change at any given time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Alicia, did you want to say something?
I'm
No?
driving.
Okay, well, you were off mute,
Step-by-step
so I didn't
process.
know. All right, anybody else?
Alicia said it's a step-by-step process. And I'm going to jump in and look at what Jill Reynolds said. Jill Reynolds said, you have to plan your work your plan, and then you've got to take.
Okay, so all of you have talked about those things that when you have a goal, how do you make sure you achieve it? How do you do it? But how do you get there? Right?
Hold on 1 second, Dr. Marcia. I'm so sorry. I didn't see Miss Jill. Miss Jill, those words I just said, those were her words. She had a little laryngitis, but this is Jill Reynolds, everybody. Okay?
Okay.
So thank you, Jill, for sharing that. I appreciate it. I like to put a face with the words.
Thank you. So we talked about when we have a goal, how do we do it? But how do you get to that goal? How do you determine that that goal is the goal that's going to get you to that next level? There are a lot of different ways you can do it, but what I want to talk to you today about is getting to that goal. One thing that I like to suggest for people to do, I like for people to do personality assessments, right? And the reason why is because a lot of times we think we are somebody that we're not. Other people give us titles and names to things that we are not. And I saw someone say they get direction from God. But you have to remember, you can get all the direction from God, but if you haven't done your work, you're still going in the wrong way. So how do we get to that goal? I don't know if any of you have heard about the Myers-Briggs. It gives you these 4 letters and it tells you all these things about yourself. The thing about it is, if you answer those questions correctly, guess what? You're going to read all about yourself and laugh and say, who has been watching me?
You know?
They just told me everything about myself that I cannot believe, right? Now, with all of these assessments, they do not. Everything in it is not right? But guess what? You're going to take some and you're going to leave some. I mentioned that because I use the Myers-Briggs, but I also use Strength Finders. And what I do in my consulting is I combine the two. The Strength Finders, what it does is it gives you 5 things that you are strong in. That these are the things that if you work on them, you're going to be the person that you envision yourself being. You're going to also be able to do all the things better that you've been doing. How do you ignite your life with these things? What you do is you sit and you look at these. And I love the fact that we've talked about journaling, right? We talked about that. And how does that fit into what we're talking about as far as, are you going to the right goal? So when you get your assessment, if you do the Myers-Briggs, and I'm going to send a link that you can do a free one and you can get your 4. And that's just going to be a free link for you to do, and it takes less than 12 minutes to do it. I am going to send it to you. And what you do is you look at it, and there's going to be an area that says, these are the things that you work well at doing. These are the things that really attract you, motivate you, and give you all of those things that you need. Then there's going to be a part that says, you know what? These things on this side, you just do not put up with. This person does not put up with. And if you come to them like this, you will get no response, right? So when you look at those things, all those things that they say are positive to you, guess what? You've got that. You can get motivated by it. But those things that they call stressors, or those things that don't work well, those are the things that you need to work on to be that next level person, because these are the things that you have determined you just do not put up with. For example, has anyone ever thought about you cannot deal with people who do not have a plan? By a show of hands, how many people do not like people who just spare the moment? Hey, I know we have a meeting in 10 minutes, but I forgot to do my agenda but we're gonna get through this, right? How many of you, by a show of hands, have had to deal with that and you're like, no, yeah, this is not gonna be a good meeting, right? So when you think of that, think of, yes, that's me. So how can I work on that to be a better me? A lot of times we let the things that annoy us rule us. And if we let it rule us because it annoys us, we do not grow. We do not get better. We actually take a couple steps back, because when people look at that, they are looking at us in that moment, not dealing well with something that annoys us. But they don't say, oh, that just annoys them and that's how they're doing. No, they are saying, yeah, they might want to fix that attitude, right? So that's one way you can ignite. That's one way you can get motivated, because what you are doing is you are recognizing the things that you are great at, which if you work on them, guess what? You're going to get better. But if you ignore the things that you are not so great at, all those great things you're doing to get better, it takes you back a step. And a lot of times we wonder, I am doing all these things. I'm reaching my goals. I'm doing these things. But was that the right goal? But was that goal you were reaching for, was that the right goal? And once you ask yourself that, you can ask yourself, well, how do I get to the goal I'm supposed to reach? And for me, my suggestion is learn about yourself, right? That's where these personality tests come in. What they're going to do is they're going to tell you, hey, this is who you are, whether you like it or not, right? So how many of you have actually took stock, and liked everything that you saw about yourself? How many of you? Just by a show of hands. Yeah, right? Well, this is what I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes when I get to that point and I'm taking stock, there's some things I'm like, no, Marcia, I don't like that, right? Right? And so I'm like, nope, I don't like that. But then you have to ask yourself, does that thing make me who I am? Does it add or does it take away? Right? But if you like that one thing about you, but you said, oh, it can use some work, guess what? Tweak it a little bit. Don't change it. Remember, what motivates you, what ignites you, is what makes you who you are. But guess what? Those things that you don't like, that adds to who you are. So don't think you've got to change so much to be more than where you are now, or to be what you want to be later. Sit down and truly assess, who am I? Right? And once you learn who you are, then you can say, I have made the right goal. This is the goal for me. So with that, what I leave you with is, do you know you? And are you working to the right goal to be the ignition, to ignite, and to motivate you? I think I have a few minutes left. I'll be willing to take any questions. Are there any questions for me?
All right, so we are getting ready to, I love that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to remove you from the spotlight. I'm working two computers here, but let me put you back up for the spotlight. And I wanna add myself and Kim back to the spotlight, because Dr. Marcia is gonna kick off our question and answer get acquainted. First, Dr. Marcia. Wow. You came in this place. And mind you, Dr. Marcia is in a session out of town. She's been on the road for several days. Mm-hmm. But she felt that this was important, where she's juggling 2 events at one time. That is how you ignite your life for life. And I want to thank you, Dr. Marcia, for what you've done and for this amazing presentation that you have given us.
Absolutely.
I put your hands together for Dr. Marcia. The question.
Thank you.
Hands together. Give us some love in the chat. Put her name in the chat. Give her some love. And while I'm saying that, let me do it. Let me do it too. Dr. Marcia, you rock the house. Miss Kim, what say you?
Well, what I say is, first of all, it's one thing to know other people and to try to teach everybody else everything that we know as experts per se. But what you just did today was, to me, brought it home to just say, okay, do you know you? I love that message. And that's a message that I'm sure resonates with all of us as speakers and entrepreneurs and business owners. So thank you for allowing God to just use you in that capacity. And even identifying our strengths and merging the Strength Finder and the Myers-Briggs. There are so many different types of trainings out there, the Gallup and all of those things, for you to be able to say, hey, let's merge some of those together and find out what our true strengths are. I really appreciated that as well. So I just learned quite a bit of tremendous nuggets and tips from you, and I appreciate your message today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so Kim and I are going to move off the screen because Dr. Marcia is about to do her thing.
All right, I saw a hand, Jill.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Marcia. I loved your talk, and I put a couple comments in. And one thing that I have found over the years is an assessment I learned in therapy is a word called transference. And so transference or mirroring is, I can't, Dr. Marcia, I can't see anything in you that's not in me. So if I say to you, I love your smile, Marcia, it's because I love my smile too. Or if I see in you, let's say I see someone who, a negative, like a controlling personality. If I for some reason meet someone that I don't like certain aspects, I then have to take a look and point the finger back at me and go, oh, that's about me. So that's a really good assessment tool for me when I start to judge another person about their personality or something about them. I have to realize I'm judging them because it's about me as well. And so, but I love it because it's the good and the bad. And then I also put in the chat a couple of other tools, Dr. Marcia. One is the Enneagram and one is Habit Finders. And I put those links in too. Those are really good tools. And to retest yourself every year. Because like you said, if you do the test and you find out like what your weaknesses are and you try to work on them for that year, it's good to retest the next year to see, have I grown?
Okay, thank you. And as Jill pointed out, there are many personality tests for different things that you are trying to do, and depending on who you're trying to be. And it also depends on where you are in your life. And I think that a lot of times we forget that we play many roles, we do different things, and depending on where you are will determine the assessment that's going to help you ignite and motivate. And remember that while those assessments are great assessments, I'm not familiar with them and I have not used them. I will, after this, take a point to look at them and see, exactly the things that they do. It's just that for me, I am more familiar with the MBTI and the Strength Finders. And those, out of all the many, and there are quite a few that I do know, those are the two that I just seem to navigate to the most. what I have done is I have put in the email, and that's one of my offers. If you send me your 4 letters, I will send you a printout of what does that look like for you, right? And I'm going to send it in a way to where you can post it and you can use it to ignite yourself and motivate yourself. I think that one thing we have to remember, we need sessions like this to get motivated, right? But when you don't have this, what motivates you or what ignites you? So the printout that I'm going to give you is going to be a reminder to you that you need to motivate yourself sometimes, because it's not going to always be someone there to do it. This right here gives me the energy to stay motivated, right? It's the energy you're drawing from everybody. But then once you're not here with me and I can't call you at 12 o'clock at night and say, hey, give me a nugget, give me something, then you're going to have that printout to assist you. So I put the link to the printout, and then I gave you my email address. So that's one way we can collaborate. All right? Any other questions or comments? I don't see any hands, so I think that was it. Thanks.
All right. Fantastic. Give it up for Dr. Marcia Stewart.
Thank you.
Yes, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Dr. Marcia. You're always doing great things because you're just a great person. I want to thank you for what you shared. And so Kim and I, we want to thank everyone for being here. And we love to finish up right on time. And we are ahead of time, and we've left 30 minutes for question and answer. And although we may not use all the question and answers, see, Dr. Stewart, she's a timely person. She knows how to get you going right in that area, and she went right into it. So thank you, Dr. Stewart. Woo, 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 woo. So today we heard from our amazing speaker that kicked it off from Zenwell Studios. And some of you may not know this. I don't know if I got this across to you, but I want to make sure I get this across to you, because you don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you what you do not know. So I want to tell you a little bit more about Miss Janine Horn. If you visited us later during the segment, Janine Horn, she's a seasoned healthcare professional. She holds many prestigious titles like board certified advanced holistic nurse. And she possesses a Master of Science degree in nursing education with a career that spans over 20 years. She's honed her expertise in the healthcare community, in nursing, and in leadership, and in clinical research. Janine is committed to educating people just like you and me. She works with education, but from the premise of she know what she know as well. Because you can be educated, you can have book smarts, but if you don't have no practical knowledge, no common sense, and we know sense isn't always common, okay, then you don't know what you think you know. And I think Dr. Marcia said sometimes we don't know what we think we know. But this young lady, she's been an adjunct professor for universities. She's spoken at many corporations. She also has her own company called Zenwell Studio. It's a sanctuary dedicated to the holistic well-being of you, myself, and other people we know. So please, let's give it up for Miss Janine. And at this time, if you have any questions, please ask her now. You can raise your hand, or if you want to make a comment, please let us know and we'll bring you up.
I have a question for you, because many, and I think this is a safe space for me to ask this question. A lot of times when I hear the word Zen, I know I can do my own research and I have, but I just wanted to hear from your perspective, what is Zen versus people that are in a spiritual walk that feel like there may be some level of conflict. I don't really know. I think Zen for me means peace and welcoming environment and yeah, synergy. But tell me what it means from your
Yeah,
perspective.
absolutely. What you just mentioned perfectly describes it. And it's whatever you want it to be and whatever it means for you. Zen to me is just that state of coming into, complete peacefulness and stillness and grounding and whatever makes me happy, whatever I can cultivate. That's my own personal Zen. That's what makes me happy. What makes you happy, what makes Dr. Lowe happy, what makes everyone else happy is very, very different, but it's finding your own personal Zen. And yes, traditionally Zen can mean peacefulness and all of those things, but it could mean a whole lot of other things. And we see that a lot. We see Zen and we see these terms and all of these holistic wellness. Everything is wellness now, right? And it's just bringing to the forefront really what that means, and it's finding that personal well-being, your self-healing journey, your own walk, and that's not a linear path, of course, as we talked about. So thank you for your question.
Yes,
Thank you
that's
so
why
much.
you have this experience that you have right here. Thank
Yes.
you.
So as we move forward, does anyone else have a question or a remark that you'd like to make before we move on to our next speaker? All right. So the next person that we're bringing up is none other than the person that put us on alert, Miss Nancy Alert. Come on up, Miss Nancy.
Hello again.
Hello, Miss Nancy. So with no further ado, I'm gonna defer to Miss Kim, and we're gonna put you on the spot. Miss Kim, I don't know. Do you have a question? Because I have a lot of questions, but I'm super duper blessed because I get to sit and really talk to Miss Alert, and she's pouring into me a lot of golden nuggets that I could take to the bank and cash in. So Miss Kim.
Absolutely. One of the things when you were speaking, you said anyone regardless of their credit can benefit from this type of multi-unit housing. How do you recommend people take that first 2 or 3 steps to really make that become a reality versus hearing a great speaker like you and then just walking away with not making it be implemented?
The first thing I would say is book your free call with me. You get 30 minutes with me for free, and you should take that seriously because I charge people for that. So I am giving you 30 minutes of my time to walk you through how you can do this. And I'll tell you right now, there are a number of ways that people don't know or understand that you can buy a building. And it is easier to buy a building than it is to buy a single family home or a condo. And the reason is the bank uses 75% of the income you will receive from that multifamily unit added to your income, which now makes you able to buy more, buy bigger. Because if you're buying a condo, it's only you. It's only your income they use. If you're buying a multifamily unit, they're using your income plus 75% of the rent to add to your income. And you can do with a multifamily what you can't do with a single family. You can scale it. And this is why you want it, because you can scale it. You can put a snack machine in the lobby, give them free Wi-Fi, put some free coffee. Now you have a luxury building. You increase the rent. Every time you increase the rent, you increase it by 4 and you increase the value of that property.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Wow, she's giving us math too in here. She said you increase it by 4. Woo!
Right.
So, wow. So do we have any other questions for Miss Alert? And make sure you get her information out of the chat and stay connected. Thank you, Miss Alert. And stay tuned, everyone. We have one final speaker. Our other speakers had to jump off. Many of you know they're traveling. We're going to bring Dr. LaWanna Parker up for any questions for Dr. LaWanna Parker. So you told us to make sure we journal, make sure we write this down. I know that I tell people all the time that the answers that they really need to know that they're seeking is already within themselves. But
That's
if they
true.
write it down, that is what helps them make that difference. So
That's true. When you write things, especially because this is your private information, you don't have to share this with anyone. And if you want, you can even take it and burn it. You don't have to keep it around. But you're sharing some things that are really within yourself. You can ask yourself questions. You can set goals through journaling, and you can create projects that you work on using journaling as a way of doing it. But the most important thing that I found is that it helps you discover who you are, because you're going inside and you're admitting to yourself things that you probably won't to anybody else, because it's just you that you're talking to. Sometimes you won't even share things when you're talking to God, but you might write it down in that journal, knowing that you can either keep it or you can destroy it. You don't have to hold on to what you write, but getting it out of you, that's the most important thing.
fantastic.
You guys are unmuted.
Yes, I was muted. Kim, I saw that. Are you good?
I'm gonna stay for the duration and yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So with no further ado, we're gonna move forward. I want to thank you, Dr. Lawana, for being here. We so appreciate you. Kim?
Can I ask her a quick question too?
I think Angie has her hand raised.
Oh, go ahead. Take Angie's first, because I'm here just hosting here, co-hosting.
Okay. Miss Angie, please join us.
Yes, Dr. Parker had a question. You mentioned about creating a legacy with your family. How do you do that with journaling? Is that what you were referring to?
You can do it with journaling or writing a book. In my son's case, he created a legacy for me by journaling. I have something I can go back and look at. I would love to know about my grandparents on both sides. I have a grandfather who somehow managed to have 320 acres of land that he paid for, nobody nothing when he passed away. I'd like to know how he did that. But as a kid, I didn't think about asking those questions, and now all the people I could ask are gone.
Thank you for sharing.
One of the things that you also said, Dr. Lotus, I know she's going to unmute herself in a second, but one of the things that you'd also said is that I got you. And I put that in a quote because I think that it's so important to have those people surrounding us that do have us no matter what we're going through. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what you meant by I got you? And that's how that friend showed up for you.
Okay. Well, coming up, I was always very quiet and shy. And I had a lot of big dreams, some that I shared and that were immediately dismissed. So as an adult, I didn't really want to go after those things because I was thinking, well, I don't have the education for this, and so-and-so say I couldn't do this. So I didn't try to go after them. But I met a woman by accident, I always say, who saw something in me, and we talked, and she just pushed me. She didn't let me use any kind of excuse under any circumstance, and she was always quick to say, I'm here for you. I have your back. No matter what, I'm behind you. I got you. So don't worry about it. And it pushed me. I'm so glad that I met her because it did get me out of my little circle. As she told me, you can't grow if you stay in that same little circle. You've got to go out and meet other people, join organizations. And that woman hit me in so many things. I don't even know how I had time to take care of my own children. That's how I managed it. But you need people who are like that for you. They don't have to just go every place you go, but just knowing that they can sense when something's wrong and they're there, or when you call and you need to talk to them, they listen rather than start telling you about everything else under the sun. Sometimes you don't need them to even respond, just to be able to talk with them and say what's bothering you. And she was that kind of person.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And I want to say, the pandemic has placed us in a position where we are learning and we are meeting people and we are connecting with people virtually. And so we begin to know them. And even when you connect with someone virtually, once you allow them to get to know you and you get to know them, they can tell when something's wrong. They like, well, wait a minute, you don't sound right. What's wrong? So I want to thank you for sharing that, because that's really huge. So we see that Miss LaDonna had a question, and we want to bring her to the spotlight. Thank you, Miss Angie, for your wonderful question. We appreciate you.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Lawana, I have heard you speak many times and love it every time that you speak. One thing I would love for you to elaborate on that really hit me on your talks, and you kind of talked about it, but not in depth, is when we are having feelings and we need to put those feelings behind us, how writing and journaling helps so much, because even you and I had talked before, write a letter to someone, don't give it to them, but it helps us release some of our anxiety, some of our fears, some of our, I don't want to use the word hatred, but almost hatred, because you never want to put hate in there. And I would love you to elaborate on that just a little bit more so people can really know how writing can help us.
Yes. Just be careful if you're writing about something that you are upset about or that's extremely personal and you don't want other people to get their hands on it. Make sure you put it in a secure place, or as I say, burn it or whatever. That happened to me as a teenager. My sister saw fit to take something I had written and she shared it with everybody. It was part of what kept me from writing because of that. But for me at the time, I needed to say what was on my mind, and I didn't know how to talk to anyone, so I wrote it. And as I say, it helped me, but it also embarrassed me because it wasn't meant for anybody else to see. It was for me, And so the result was that while I felt good at the time that I wrote it, the release, when I was complaining in later years and I would write things down, it was a great release. But be careful about what you write and how you store it. If it's something that you don't want anybody else to see, I suggest destroying it immediately afterwards. Okay. But it does help. It's been a tremendous help for me as a quiet person who didn't know how to share things with other people. I have been learning in the last few years that it's important that you do let people know what goes on inside of you, because it does help people. I've shared the story about my son before, and I've had people come up to me and say, I needed to hear that. I'm going through some things right now, and I don't know how to handle it. And so when we share stuff, it can make a difference in someone's life, which is another reason why I think everybody should write their story. There's somebody who needs to hear what you went through and how you handled it. It could make a difference. You may never meet the person. It might be 50, 100 years from now, but it could help somebody. If there's somebody waiting.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Miss LaDonna, for sharing what you've shared. So with that being said, when we talk about giving, we want to give more to you. So I'd like for each of you to look in the chat as we begin to near the summation of our summit. We want to give something to you. And so we have a drawing by one of our sponsors, the owner of Matriarch Now, Dr. Bessie Fletcher, and her Matriarch Now organization is gifting those, and only those that are in this room can put your name in the hat. The Matriarch Now is sponsoring a 4-night, 5-day hotel stay. The winner will take care of your own transportation, your hotel, taxes, and gifts. Now, just the taxes, but the stay is on the Matriarch Now. And she actually contacted me. She's on travel. She's going to try to pop in. And I think they're out on the boat. So you know how it is, right? But she wanted to make sure that everyone was able to see this. Miss Kay, you have something to share with us?
The purpose of Matriarch Now is to help renew the respect and honor given to the family matriarchs. In our present state of family affairs, matriarchs have become less important, less honored, and in many cases pushed to the side to be cared for by institutions. Oftentimes, this leads to confusion and dissolution of the families. Our purpose is to raise awareness on the importance of the role of the matriarch and the power of their bond, which keeps their families together, even after the matriarch transcends. The then up-and-coming matriarch lovingly moves into her position as the family structure remains intact. When our matriarchs rise to their positions, the healing of the family unit can begin. This process can help families around the world through our Matriarchs Leadership Training Program and the power of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So the Matriarch Now is gifting you this 4 nights, 5 days hotel stay. In order to put your name in the hat, you'll need to click on the link that's here in the chat. Please click on it and fill the information out. And then this Monday, Dr. Bessie and her team will look at who all put their name in the hat. And they will just put it in there and draw a name. And once they draw a name, we'll know. And then we're going to send out an email to all of you that put your name in the hat, because they'll have your email and they'll let you know who won the Ignite Your Life for Life 4 nights, 5-day hotel stay. Let's put our hands together for Dr. Bessie May Fletcher, her amazing team, and Matriarch Now.
Dr. Lourdes, where's the link?
It's in the chat. We'll put it in the chat one more time.
Quite a few links in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going to copy it and put it back here again. You know what? Y'all didn't have it because I sent it to Kim. Sorry, y'all.
And
so yeah. So with that being said, thank you, everybody. I'd like to do a quick round robin before we go to our final thank you videos and final sharings. So please, let's do a quick round robin for those, our guests who have not spoken. We would like for you to raise your hand and have a word to say. Please introduce yourself to everyone. We're going to give you 2 minutes. 2 minutes, okay? Introduce yourself to everyone. And if you have a service, a product, or a gift, please put it in here, because we actually have a virtual swag bag, and our virtual swag bags are for our attendees that are here today. And we're going to put that in the chat so you know what you're getting in the swag bag. In the swag bag, you're going to get gifts from the speakers. Every speaker today bought a gift for you and an offer too. You're going to get a Facebook frame when you send us your picture. If you send us your picture, you're going to get a Facebook frame. specifically made for you by the Ignites team. And then you're going to get a gift from the Mother-Daughter Network, right? For the winner. So that's what's in the swag bag today. And I've got a lot more to say, but what I'm going to say is this. Take it away, Miss LaDonna. Let's hear from you. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. And I am LaDonna with the Networking Expert. I love to help people like you and everyone to really learn how to network, how to connect, network, and collaborate with the right people at the right time to build your business to the highest level that you desire and put more money in your bank account. I can help you do that. I love connecting. I hope to chat with each and every one of you. If you will go to my website, ladonnamaccabee.com, there is a bundle package of downloads there, absolutely free for you to help you grow you and your business, because our sales matter for our business to grow. We have to join those two together, because if you don't feel like building your business, if you don't know how to build your business, then how can you? That is why I put this bundle package together, and I'm always willing to chat with you for 30 minutes, absolutely free. Also on August 10th, I have a workshop coming up. You'll see that on my website as well. I want to thank all of you for listening to me at this time, and thank you, Dr. Lotus, for having me as a guest today.
All right, thank you so much. And that is Miss, the networking queen. All right. If you haven't seen her anywhere, now you've seen her. So be sure, please make sure you connect. Thank you so much. And so the next person we're going to be bringing up, Miss Alicia. Miss Alicia, please come up and have a word to say, please, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lotus. I appreciate being here today. I missed the first couple of hours because I was at the gym. I had a Zumba class, so I was at the gym. But I got to hear the last speaker, and I'm looking forward to the replay. My name is Alicia Alexander, and my company is Make a Difference Consulting. I help organizations through authentic appreciation, retain their staff, value and appreciate their staff, and which mitigates the high cost of turnover and increases net profits. Appreciating and valuing their staff authentically is to create a participatory work culture, and that's what I specialize in. I can be reached at 401-601-3207 or on my website, which is www.makeadifferenceconsulting.com. Thank you, Dr. Lotus, for having me here, and I appreciate being in this room.
It's our absolute pleasure, and we appreciate you as well. Fantastic. So with no further ado, is there anyone else that would like to have a word to say or acknowledge or kind of introduce yourself before we hear from our final let me unmute myself. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Or before we hear from our final video. Now, just want to say this. Let me stop. Kim Jacobs, she is the mother of Gabe Jacobs, who passed away because of sudden cardiac arrest. And a portion of the proceeds from this is going to the organization so we can purchase defibrillators so that we can put them in highly populated areas. But as you see, Kim did a great job today, but she had to jump off because she has an emergency with her grandfather. And so you could see kind of, we were chatting back and forth. So I just want you all to know that we need to pray for Kim and pray for her family because she does so much for so many. And we want to make sure we send her some love. So Coach P has raised her hand. We want to go to Coach P. We're going to bring you up. Coach P, let us know when you're ready. Okay, I see you. And we're going to bring you up. Go ahead, Coach P. And
Hi,
turn sideways. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Phyllis Weaver. I'm the CEO and founder of Discover Ultimate Health. I'm a pharmacist and a transformational lifestyle health and wellness strategist. And I focus on basically helping you to change your lifestyle so that the main thing is that with lifestyle, that is like what makes you either healthy or have some type of illness. So the main thing is to get the strategy so that you can be your best healthy self, whether you're dealing with type 2 diabetes, you want to lose some weight, or if you have lupus or fibromyalgia or some of the other inflammatory or autoimmune issues. So that is my focus, and I'd love for you to join me with Discover Ultimate Health, and my website is www.discoverultimatehealth.com. And oops, I'm losing battery power. And I also am the author of a book, The Reverse Diabetes Now, the 365-day technique. So thank you so much. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful summit. I've learned so much from all of the speakers. Everyone had like fantastic nuggets that I can use every day with my life.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Coach P. You're always doing great things and we appreciate you. So with no further ado, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. And we have 2 closing thoughts for you. Ms. Kay. Oh, before I do that, thank you to the Ignites team, because without the Ignites team, without my life partner, God, thank you. None of this would be possible for us to help each other and others to ignite their life for life. So thank you very much. And I hope that we've gotten to everybody and given you the opportunity to speak for those that wanted to speak. Thank you so much. Ms. Kay? Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the next Ignite Your Life for Life.
Thank you, everyone. Great job, everyone.
Great job, everyone. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, you're taking us.
Look in now. Go ahead.
Good job.
Great job, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Ignites team, hang tight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Alert. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Angie.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Stewart.
No.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, everyone.
Just put your plug in there.
Thank you so much.
Leave at the bottom.
Oh, let's give it up for Miss Angie. Woo, 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 woo. She did her thing. She did her thing. She did her thing.
She did her thing. She did her thing.
Yeah. How was it, Miss Angie?
It was great. I had a great time. It looked like everyone had a great time as well. So thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, everyone did. Everyone did. Everyone did. So thank you so much. So with that being said, let's hear from the team. Miss Denise, how was it for you?
It was very informational. I picked up a lot of little nuggets here and there, a lot of things that I can use for me as well as some other people that I know. But there were a lot of good points, a lot of good information.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Fantastic. So Mr. Maurice, how was it for you?
It was amazing. And yeah, it was informational as well. Very great speakers and very informative people. And there were a lot of freebies in the comment section.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Dad, Mom, you want to have a moment to say something? I'll spotlight you guys.
Other than the fact it was very inspirational, and I did write down a lot of things from the speakers, and I'm getting ready to start exercise again, daughter. But thank you all for inviting us.
Yeah, you're welcome. So this is Angie's dad, and her mom is somewhere in there.
Her mom's playing hide and seek.
Okay, so so thank you for being here. We really appreciate you because it couldn't have been as great as it was without Angie.
I went to the bathroom.
Okay.
Anyone else from the Ignites team want to share?
Yeah. So remove from spotlight. Okay, I'm going to the next person. Miss K, how was it for you? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm talking to Kim and I'm working. Miss K?
Yes, it went very smoothly on my end, the way I see it. The speakers were kind of just laid back, kind of cool, and just spitting out these powerful messages with them just being like very chill about it. So yeah, I think great lineup of speakers I enjoyed our workout session. Miss Angie, I'll surely look back to the recording and have you as my fitness trainer every day. And play that over again. Yeah, thank you for that. It's refreshing.
Are you gonna
It did
exit out?
a lot for my back.
Thank you. That's why they left it. They didn't talk to others.
Very
well. Anything to say?
Thank you.
I'm waiting till it finishes over. I'll close it off.
Hold on.
Hold on a second. Miss K, look for Miss Kim Jacobs. She's back in. But do you see her?
No, Miss Lotus. Maybe she's in the
Oh,
other.
that's the other. Use the other link. Use the other link. Hold on, let me grab it. And I'm gonna send it to you in Messenger so you can come right in. Hold on, I got you.
How about you, Miss Nora? How was the summit for you?
I'm gonna get them. Okay, all right. Miss K, go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead, Nora, go ahead. Okay, Miss Kim.
All right, so this summit was an eye opener for me, and all the information and all the nuggets that was shared made me understand that whatever change that I'm looking for, it's right in my hands here. They opened my eyes to see the importance of the information they shared, especially Miss Angie. I was doing my exercise. I'm like, it's that simple to have my back working. I never knew that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Miss Kim Jacobs is back in the house. Miss K, prep that video because we want to share with her. Thank you, Miss Nora. That was absolutely awesome. Miss Denise, thank you for what you shared. Thank you, Miss Nora. Mr. Maurice, Did you get to share yet?
Miss Tamar.
Miss Tamar, I'm sorry, hold on a second. Miss Kim is back now. My mind can kind of rest. I was concerned. All right.
Thank you.
Spotlight. All right, Miss Tamar.
Yeah, I think this is my second or third summit and attending with Dr. Lotus. And yeah, I agree with Miss Kay that all of the speakers, the hosts, all of them are very welcoming. I can see in their eyes and their expression that they are very, or they are really excited for what they are going to tell to people. And I love the chat is blowing up and many people put their information on the chat, so it's a great help for others. Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so I just want to say that I really appreciate everybody for being here today. I had a fantastic time and everything just came together just the way it was supposed to come together. I was trying to share this in a StreamYard broadcast, but I mean, it was glitching and everything. So, sometimes you just got to hear a word from what God is saying. Maybe we weren't supposed to put it out there, because maybe if we had put it out there, some people may not have shared what they shared, So I want to take this time to thank someone very special, near and dear to my heart. Miss Kay, do you have it? Let's have it. Thank you, Miss Kay. I would like for you all to stand to your feet and help me thank Miss Kim Jacobs for the life of her son, AJ. Thank you, Kim. We appreciate you. You did such a splendid job. And we know you had a family emergency and you still came back. Thank you. And so, yeah, you have the floor. You got to open your mic.
My mic is open. I'm never speechless, is what I'll say. But anytime you think about igniting our lives, we want our legacy to live on way beyond anything that we could ever do here on this earth, well beyond the temporary assignment of us being here on this earth, because this is just literally for a few moments of time. So I'm just really honored to be able to be Gabe's mom and to be able to keep his legacy alive, because it gives people a chance to have these defibrillators that are placed in all these public spaces so that it gives time for the paramedics to arrive. In our case, it took about 15 minutes or so for the paramedics to get there. And once they do arrive, they give their existence to try to help the situation. But sometimes that's too late if there's nothing there that can help keep the situation at bay. So I'm really grateful that Gabe was the person that he was on this earth and stood at 5'10", at 12 years old, as an anti-bullying mediator and loved everybody. He had no respecter of persons, and named after two angels, had no idea that he would be really like a walking angel here on this earth. And I'm very grateful. So any donations that come to Gabe's Heart Foundation, Dr. Lotus, it is a tremendous blessing to help others be able to have hopefully extended time with their families. And I am a mom of 4 additional children, that 3 of which battle cystic fibrosis, and we kick that in the head every day, which is a lung disease. And they are warriors. So they're ambassadors for Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and Boomer Esiason Foundation, and have raised over $2.2 million for some of those entities. So I'm really proud of my children. And my oldest son does not have cystic fibrosis, but he is also a leader and a warrior, and has just recently graduated this past few months from Chapel Hill. So I'm honored to be a mom.
Wow.
Greatest gift.
Wow.
That's my greatest gift from God.
That's awesome. So we thank you, Kim. We appreciate you. We absolutely love you. And so this concludes the summit, Ignite Your Life for Life. I just want to let each and every one of you know that you are a part of history. And so in your swag bags, all the team members will be receiving their t-shirts. And Miss Kim, we want to show you Miss Tamar. If you have 1 or 2 of them, let's show Miss Kim what it looks like, because Miss Kim, you're going to be one of the first people to receive your historical Ignite Your Life for Life shirt. Miss Tamar, if you have it, we're ready.
While she's pulling that up, Dr. Lotus, I want to say anybody attached to you, they're attached to greatness, and they can only get better in life if they are even just holding on to your coattail, you know? So I'm just really grateful to be associated with you and all of the speakers and every visitor and everyone that's here today. Really honored to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. And our family, we absolutely love you and we appreciate you. And thank you for letting us be a part of your life and a part of Gabe's legacy. And so we want to always show up and do our extreme best to be a great representative of that. Thank you. Ms. Tamar? And so this shirt will have our logo on it. And we just want to thank you so much. So there it is.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Okay, everybody, we absolutely love you. You guys, gals, have a great day. Remember this, be blessed, don't stress, do your absolute best as you ignite and take flight. Oh, I left one out. And don't take no mess as you ignite and take flight in every area of your life. I absolutely love you. Have a great
Lotus.
day. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Miss Denise, you had something you want to share? Pop, you had something you want to share?
Yeah, pretty much every one of the people that put any information, like websites and stuff, is now on our spreadsheet.
Thank you. Miss Kim, I just sent you the full chat too of what I say. I emailed it to you already. And Miss Denise, I emailed it to you and Miss Kay as well. So we can start working on that to make sure we get it out. But like you said, all the information's in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, as whoever gave websites, phone numbers, things like that, is all in that spreadsheet that we created. So we have that.
All right, fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Miss Denise. All right. And by the way, Miss Denise made personal calls to everyone that purchased a ticket. We had several people that could not make it. They bought a ticket and she called them personally. Where she couldn't call, she left a message, and some of them actually called her back just to thank her. So this is a special touch that we do, because a lot of companies don't do it. Sometimes they don't have the time because it's so massive. But this is the start of a beautiful thing. And I just want to thank all of you for being a part of it. Thank you, Ms. Nora, for doing the great work you've done. Mr. Maurice, thank you for making sure our landing page was right and tight, even though we faced some challenges. All the creators, Miss Tamara, Miss Yana, Mr. Gant, Mr. Rafiq, all of the creatives stepped up to the plate and made it happen. All of our admin specialists, Miss Nora, Miss Kay, came together and made it happen. And our specialist that helps to take care of our events in person and virtually, Miss Denise, home run. Thank you, everyone. And of course, Miss Angie, I don't know what we do without you as one of the leaders in this company. We thank you because, girl, you rocked it. All right, everybody. I love you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see everybody on Monday. Please save the chat, everybody. Even though I mailed it to Miss Kim, please save it. Please save the chat.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a
Have a
great
great day,
day.
everyone.
Have a
Have
great
a
weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Elton.
Thank you, Miss Jacobs.
I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Kim. I'm going to call you in a minute.
Okay.
Great summit. Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Kay. How was it for you, Miss Kay? Did you enjoy yourself? Because you worked the whole while. And you just always do such great work. How was it for you?
Yeah, it's great for me. I received many I take the notes in the chat, not on my pen because I'm doing other things. So
Yeah.
as I shared, it's a great lineup of speakers. They like talk about really powerful points in a kind of cool and just laid back type of way. So yeah, it was great for me. And I think Miss Nora really learned a lot because she didn't jump off. She told me I'll just be here for 1 hour, but she's here and finish it the whole. So
Yeah.
it's very powerful.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic.
And thank you,
So-
Miss Kim, for support.
Yeah. Thank you. So before we go, Miss Kim, our prayers are with you. I did share with the folks that you had a family emergency and they send you love and you'll see it in the chat.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I had to get off and
No. You had to do that. I started to stop it right then and be like, look, we got a family emergency. Play that last video. We out of here. But
thank you.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Everybody. All right, Kim, I'm gonna
Thank
call
you. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, Miss
God
Nora.
bless you.
All right, Kim, I'm gonna hit you up on the phone.
Love you all.
God.